Instructional technology has its roots in many disciplines, including math, philosophy, science, and art. As a history teacher, I view the definition of technology a bit differently. I define it to be any tool that humans use. Early technology included stone tools and advanced with iron smelting, and today even includes everything from a pulley to a smartphone. However, instructional technology has its own unique history dating to the early 20th century with the advent of moving photography, i.e. film. This movement helped users by providing a visual aid. And this improved in the late 1920s when motion pictures were able to coordinate with sound alongside the visuals and integrating them together to begin the era of the audiovisual instruction. During World War II, the need to quickly train soldiers fostered intense growth of the instructional design field. Media played a prominent role in being able to standardize instruction. With the growth of population in the post-war era, the baby boomers, instructional technologists reevaluated school curriculum to include technology just beyond instructional media. According to Dr. Reeser of Florida State University, computer-assisted instruction began on a limited basis in the 1950s, and by 1983, 40% of elementary and 75% of high school students were using computers for instruction. In 1963, the definition by the now AECT moved away from media and instead brought with the view of instructional technology as a process. The steps identified were as follows: planning, production, selection, utilization, and management. The influence of cognitive sciences beginning in 1977 changed focus away from process to empirical evidence of learning in research, and theories focused on 5 new areas: design, development, utilization, management, and evaluation. The field now looks at facilitating learning, including the important role that the learner has in what will be learned and how it should be learned. The question we are left with today is, why should we call it instructional design and technology, not just technology, not just instruction, and not just instructional technology? Dr. Reeser says that when asked to define only instructional technology, many default to describing it as media, but there is a design component alongside this. In my own process to defining the field, I begin by defining each of the terms individually. Instruction imparts knowledge from one to another and includes both education and training. This means both learning and putting it into practice. Technology can be defined, like I stated earlier, through a lens in history. By looking at the epistemology, we see that the Greek basis deals with expressing it as a skill. In combination, I define it as the study and application of the learning process through the use of tools in order to enhance discovery and performance. But because inherently there is a design element, I need to add design to my definition. Design can be defined as a purpose or intention behind an action and a plan that you make before making. Putting it together, my definition of instructional design and technology is the purposeful study and application of the learning process through the use of deliberate technology in order to enhance discovery and performance for the learner. What this history of definition tells us is that there are 3 major pillars key in instructional design and technology: design, technology, and learning theory. The design pillar begins with the process through planning. We begin my IDT model with A for assess. This is when instructional designers determine the needs of the learner and determine learning outcomes. S is for study. In this step, instructional designers look at the studies of learning processes to determine the best methods for the scenario. According to Holden and Westphal in An Instructional Media Selection Guide for Distance Learning, it is important not to select media until after determining the learning objectives. In the technology pillar, S is for supplement. Instructional designers know the importance of technology as a tool, not as a replacement. So in this step, they determine which mediums could supplement the chosen learning theory to enhance the learning experience. The final 3 steps come with the learning pillar. I is for implement. Instructional designers initially implement the curriculum. S is for support. Soon after the complete implementation comes the support step, in which they support the initial design through studies of its effectiveness, which leads us to the final step, T, for tweaking, or to make adjustments to better align to the intended objectives determined in the initial assessment. Next, I'll isolate 3 major trends in instructional design and technology. The first is enhanced visual capabilities for learning, including things like augmented reality, helio display, and 3D printing. Second is enhanced personalization of learning within a collaborative environment. Things like a flipped lesson for self-pacing, gamification, video conferencing, Twitter chats, and learner power, which was developed by an IDD alum. And lastly, enhanced assessment tools like Socrative, Kahoot, and self-graded tools. But these trends lead us to a couple of major concerns within IDT, like the Luddite mentality, a resistance to technology incorporation, which largely comes because of the relationship that exists between theory, research, and practice, and the risk of ineffective training for professionals about the three pillars and cohesion, or just ineffective training because the pillars of IDT are kept compartmentalized. And my second issue and concern is that the range of applications makes it hard to forge strategies and theories across disciplines because you have everything from education and business to all ages of pre-K to adults. Thank you for watching my definition of instructional design and technology, edit 6100, fall 2014.